Hey agents, should you join a team? I am Realtor Sonja Rankin with Rankin Helping Agents, and let's talk this out. So I am a solo agent. I've always been a solo agent. The truth of the matter is this: I have people I love dearly, good friends, who have started teams and they said, please join us. And it broke my heart to look them in the eye and say, I just can't. I want to go in a different direction. And here's the reason why. Personally, I really want to look back in 5 years and say, I built that with my own two hands. The leads I have, I worked my butt off for, and I put the time, sweat, and tears into this business, and I created what I have. I really did this on my own, and I learned how to fish as opposed to being given a fish. But there's so much to be said about teams that is good. When you as a new agent join a team, hopefully you are surrounded by very educated, well-established agents who have a motivation to help you out. A lot of times the rainmaker is the one who is out there doing the work, and that also may be your team lead who gets a cut of your commission when you do sell. So that person has motivation to help you out, to help you get where you're going. Sometimes they'll have you shadow an experienced agent, which is awesome. Me as a solo agent, it's very difficult for me to go up to a super successful agent and say, hey, you know how you're busy and you do your own thing and you barely have enough time for yourself? Do you mind if I just kind of follow you and in the way and maybe distract you from your work with my endless questions? It's not going to happen. So when you're working on a team, a lot of times that team pays great money for leads and pays great money for quality leads and marketing. So you're getting your leads, you're getting business, you're putting the work in, you're closing those deals. One thing is sometimes they have a TC on hand where you may not learn the process as you should. I really highly recommend before getting a TC, have 5 or 6 transactions that you close. Know why we are asking our clients to sign this or sign that. Know the purpose behind it, because it looks really bad when you don't. When your customer is like, wait, what's this for again? You're like, I don't know. So let's avoid that. Let's go into the job, educated, ready to go. Ask your questions, whether a team is the right option for you or whether being a solo agent is the right option for you. So in a team, like in our area, it's pretty typical for the team to take 50% of your commission. And hey, you've got to decide whether it's worth it to you, because if you're a new agent and you're not doing anything, 50% of nothing is nothing. So keep that in mind as well. I saved up enough money when I first started in the business where I knew I could get into that if I needed to support myself, and I did. And man, did it hurt. It hurt so bad getting into that savings month after month because I wasn't selling immediately. I was advertising, I was making my business cards, I was sending out postcards, I was knocking on doors. But all that work came back to me on my second year. So the things you're doing today, if it feels like nothing's happening, keep at it, don't stop. Time on task over time is what gets you to results. So prepare for success. The menial things that are inexpensive if you don't have high funds that you're dealing with are the little things that just seem like they're not doing anything. Give it some time. Give it a year of doing it and see what happens in your second year. I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if it's your decision to go to a team, there's nothing wrong with the team. People do sometimes become dependent on that team atmosphere. I've heard agents say, well, I really want to make more money and I'd like to keep my commission check, but I just feel like I need the team at this point. When the truth of the matter is they could leave the team. They have plenty of experience. They are ready to get out on their own. They definitely can hold their own, and they could just hire a TC, a transaction coordinator, or maybe an assistant, and they'd go through the business with flying colors, but they've come to rely on that fish being given to them, being that lead being given to them, because not everybody can afford $2,000 a month for leads from the Z company or from leads from the R company. So just keep in mind that there's options all around. I would highly recommend, if there's any way that you can save up before getting into the business and not have to have a full-time job, if there's any way you could do that, I've seen a lot of success come from just being able to pick up and go when a buyer asks. I had one lead called me and they said, hey, listen, we really like this house and we'd like to see it. And I had shown properties to 10 people that month, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But I was a little beaten down because nobody decided to buy. I went and showed so many properties, and the buyers just weren't serious enough or didn't see something they liked enough to buy. So when this buyer calls me, I said, okay. And I had a little bit less pep in my step, but I took him out. they said, yeah, we were looking at it online. Our parents live right down the road and we just wanted to see it in person. We'll put in an offer. And just like that, we had a contract written that day and had an offer accepted that day. So, don't always focus on the losses. This one win made it all worthwhile. All of these showings, it all leads to something. And every time you meet a customer or a buyer or a client, depending on how you decide to call your people, every time you meet them in the field, shake their hand, look them in the eye, they have an impression of you. Goodness gracious today. And they're going to determine whether they like you or not. And I bet you they'll like you. And it's so much easier to make that phone call to somebody you've met in person and seen already than it is to call a new stranger and you don't know if they're going to be spamming you in the real estate business. You don't know if they're going to be bothering you nonstop. So, it's a great thing to get out there every single time. And, if a person asks to request a showing, by all means, do your background check and then get out there, show them some properties. You never know which one may decide to pull the trigger and buy a home. So, yeah, as you're making your decision, go through the online process of looking at the checklist to consider when joining a team. And I think you'll find some amazing, you can just Google it, what questions to ask when considering joining a real estate team. And I bet you'll find some great questions that you hadn't considered yet, and weigh out your options. Some people join a boutique brokerage like I am in myself. I don't know if I'd call it boutique. It's a big company, but our broker is always in office, and it takes nothing for me to pick up the phone, call her, she will answer, or to go in and talk with her, she'll make time. So some people are lucky enough to have that relationship where they don't need to join a team because they have great support and an office staff and their broker of all people. When you can ask a broker, man, that's awesome. I could be a broker at this point. I'm playing with the idea of just go ahead and get my broker's license and being a broker associate, but I digress from the story. Get out there, just keep moving forward. Regardless if you're planning on going solo or joining a team, or if you're still weighing those options, don't just stop and let that hold you up for moving forward and making progress in your real estate business. Again, I am Realtor Sonja Rankin with Rankin Helping Agents, and I hope this was helpful.